Hi class 5. Today I am back with your science class and we have already started chapter 4 pollination, right? So if you recall, you will remember last class we have done parts of flower because we are talking about flower. We are talking about the reproduction, right? So first we have seen there are different parts of flower that helps in pollination process, right? Then what we have seen, the major four parts: calyx, corolla, then androecium and gynoecium. Androecium is what? The male part. Then gynoecium is what? The female part. And from this only the pollination or the transfer of anther, means the pollen grains which are present in anther, to the stigma takes place. That's all we have done on that day. Also we have seen the types of flowers. Two types. One is bisexual, the other is monosexual, right? Now here also we have seen that most flowers have both androecium, that is the male part, and gynoecium, that is the female part, and such flowers are called bisexual flowers. That means the pollination process takes place within that flower only. Done. Now the mono one, what we have seen here, some flowers may have either the male part or the female part. Now both the parts are not present. That is the mono one, means monosexual flower. Now today what we will see these three parts. Pollination we will see. Then we will see types of pollination. Okay. Then we will see process of pollination. So when we talk about this pollination, see, to form a flower or what we need actually for a flower to form fruit and seeds. From flower we are getting fruit and seeds. It's known to us. What is important? Pollination is important. This is important. Where the anther transfers to stigma. Okay. Now, when this pollination process takes place, somebody is there who is helping out. They are called agents. Now, who are these agents? It can be wind, it can be water, it can be insects, sometimes birds. Now, see, this transfer can take place with the help of wind, water and insect, and these are called the agents of pollination. So whenever the pollen grains fly or move to the stigma, transfers to the stigma, how it happens? Either through the wind, means when the wind blows can happen, or when the water flows can happen, or when the insects, especially the bees, when they come to suck the nectar, then it gets stuck, the pollen grains stuck, and it moves to the stigma. Okay, so in this way the agents help in transferring of pollen grains to stigma, and the process, whole process of pollination takes place. Now it can happen in two ways. One, the types of pollination can be self-pollination, and the other can be cross-pollination. Self, cross. Now wait a minute, I'll show you something. Suppose if I consider this as flower, it's not good, I know, but still adjust. Okay. Suppose I consider this as flower. Now, if this is my anther, okay, and this part is what you all know, this is the stigma. So, in this particular flower, what is happening? Anther is also there, and stigma is also there. Okay. Now, the pollen grains transfers to stigma. Okay, in the same flower. So this process is called self-pollination. Means this flower is having both male part and the female part. So the pollination takes place here. Okay. Another thing can be, see, pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma of the same flower or other flowers on the same plant. Keep this in mind. Can be other flower on the same plant. Another flower is there, but same plant. Plant has to be same. Then this is self-pollination. Means this flower is having this two part. Another flower of same type is also having the two parts. Now from here anther can move to that stigma also, because both are same plant. Okay? So this is called self-pollination. Now what is cross-pollination? Cross is what? When the pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma of a flower on another plant of the same kind, it is called cross-pollination. That means there has to be two flowers. Okay. Now here what we see, kinds are same but plants are different. Means this part of flower is having male part, that part of flower is having female part. So the transfer takes place in this way, cross. Okay. And there the agent specially works. Maybe water, maybe wind, or maybe insects. Okay. So this is important. What we need to know is that pollination takes place in two ways. One is self-pollination, the other is cross-pollination. And when these two types of pollination takes place, then only the pollen grains transfer to stigma. Okay. Now what happens, or after this transfer what we get, that we need to know, or why this reproduction is important. These questions are there in your mind. So we will see this process of pollination. What we see, anther of a flower produces what? Pollen grains. You have already understood by now. Now which contain the male part, right? That means androecium. We are talking about the male part, male reproductive part. Okay. So those are called actually gametes or gametes. Now these pollen grains may be carried by wind or by water or by insect or by birds, whatever, and fall on the stigma. Okay. Get stuck to stigma of the same flower or another flower, of the same flower or some other flower. Now it has to have the kind should be same. The flower kind, plant kind should be same. Now from stigma they reach ovary. How they reach? We have seen in parts of flower that it moves down. There is one stick, right? Remember what is it called? How many of you remember? It is called style. Okay. So from stigma through style it moves down. Where it reaches, we have seen there is something over here called ovary. So it reaches where? Ovary. Now what happens? Inside the ovary, male and female gametes meet and reproduction takes place. Okay. So there they combine together and then reproduction takes place there. Now it results in what? In the formation of fruit from the ovary. And where we get the seeds from? We get the seeds from the ovules of a flower, because we have seen now ovary is there. Inside ovary what is there? Ovule. So when you get the seed, you need to know where from you are getting the seed. You are getting the seed from the ovules and you are getting the fruit from ovary. Clear? So this is the main funda of pollination. Pollination in plants takes place with the help of female and male gametes. Okay. Now there can be one flower where both female and male part are present, so the transfer takes place easily and we get fruit and seed easily. Or else that is called self-pollination. Or else the cross-pollination takes place. That means it moves to another flower where one flower contains the female part, the other contains the male part. Now from male part what happens? The pollen grains transfers to stigma. And same from stigma, the style helps to put it down to the ovary where we get the fruit. From ovary we are getting fruit, and then inside the ovary we get the ovules where the seeds are formed. That's it. This is the work of pollination, and it continues. And you will see sometimes honeybees do more pollination than any other insects. Okay. And birds like hummingbird also help in pollination process. Okay. So we need agents for this pollination process also. Okay. Now we have understood. I have explained you what is the process is all about. Now you need to see. You need to watch the video so that you are more clear with the concept. So now you will go through the video. Okay.
Pollination is a process by which pollen is transferred from the anther, that is, the male part, to the stigma, which is the female part of the plant, thereby enabling the fertilization and reproduction in turn. Now let's see how pollination occurs or how pollens reach stigma. There are various ways. How do pollens reach the stigma? Flowers have bright petals and strong fragrance that attract insects and other animals. Also, flowers have thin, nutritious honey-like liquids called nectar inside of them that acts as food for many insects. Butterflies, bees, and many other insects feed on the nectar. So they visit the flower to suck nectar. While sucking nectar from the flowers, they are in no way harmed by the insects. Insects feed on the nectar present in the flowers where ovules are present, and fertilization occurs, leading to the formation of seeds. So this process of pollens reaching the sticky tops of pistils is called pollination.
So class 5, I hope somewhat the topic is clear. You have understood what I wanted to explain you with the help of this video and whatever I have explained. If you have any confusion regarding this, you can absolutely write to me, no problem. And if you have understood that also, you write it in the comment box so that I understand that you have understood. Now I would advise you one more thing. After going through this video, what you do, my previous video and this video, both watch together, see together, so that the full chapter concept is clear to you. You can relate both the chapters, both the parts together. Okay, that is more important. Okay. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.